Alright, so Doink the Clown remains, to this day, one of the most original and unique gimmicks WWE ever did. But what possessed the then WWF to go with a clown gimmick? Well, one day, Matt Bourne, the wrestler who would play the character, was just standing around in the locker room, smoking a cigarette and looking surly when Road Warrior Hawk walked in, took one look at him and went, "Krusty the Clown!" He then ran to Vince McMahon, told him he thought that should be Bourne's character, and Vince absolutely loved the idea. So then the company turned to the most recent source of inspiration, Stephen King's It movie, which had just come out 1 year prior, in which a strange interdimensional being known as Pennywise, who takes the form of a clown, was big and mean and scary. And this created a bit of a dilemma within the company because evil, scary Doink was starting to terrify children and unsettle some adults. It was genuinely working as a gimmick, but its increasing popularity meant that it probably necessitated a face turn. But then, one day, Vince had an idea unlike any idea he'd ever had before, and he introduced multiple Doinks. You see, at the time, the company was no stranger to running multiple house shows on the same night, and since the Doink character was behind a bit of face paint, he thought nothing about having multiple people play the character. So while Matt Bourne might have been on one show playing Doink the Clown, on another show on the same night, it might have been Steve Kean. And if they had to put him in front of the cameras, if they had to do some promotional stuff, they might use Steve Lombardi, yes, the literal Brooklyn Brawler, in their place instead. My point here is that if you went to a WWF show in the early 90s and thought you saw Doink, you might not actually have seen Doink. And thus, when Matt Bourne was sacked by the company for reoccurring drug issues, he just handed the gimmick over to Ray Apollo instead, gave him a new sidekick in Dink. Yes, that really happened, and then just made him this comic relief character who went around playing pranks on other wrestlers. Rather unsurprisingly, this wore very, very thin very, very quickly, and falling further and further down the card into genuine jobber status and the company hurtling unstoppably towards the Attitude Era, Doink just felt like a product of an older day. And then at the 1997 Slammy Awards, Stone Cold Steve Austin delivered a stunner to Doink while the crowd chanted, "Kill the Clown," and that was pretty much the end for Doink. There was no coming back from that. And he was gone. Not long after that, he bounced around the territories for a while. He appeared in ECW. He even made the occasional comeback in the WWF/WWE, but the character's glory days were the years following the release of Stephen King's It, and they never managed to recapture that ever. He was never forgotten though, and over the next 25 years, Eugene, Jeff Jarrett, the Bushwhackers, and Chris Jericho all donned the Doink costume for some reason or another, but the character never made a proper return. They never got back to evil, sinister Doink as they had done in those early years.